Dylan Mulvaney has spoken out now because Dylan Mulvaney is upset that Bud Light did not stand by Dylan Mulvaney.
That's crazy. So you were sponsored by a mega corporation because of your trans identity, and they didn't care about you as a person, as an individual.
Weird that
that's wild to me.
It feels like back in the day you would have just understood that a corporation isn't going to care. Like, it's just not a corporation's job to care.
Well, I don't understand how you could fall for the lie of Pride Month, which is that all of these mega corporations care about you anyway.
Yeah, they don't care about you, nor should you expect them to.
Let's watch the video before we go further.
Okay, here we go. Wait for it, and here we go.
Hi.
Hi.
One thing I will not tolerate people saying about me is that I don't like beer, because I love beer and I always have.
Because you're male.
I'm sure you do.
I built my platform on being honest with you, and what I'm about to tell you might sound like old news, but you know that feeling when you have something uncomfy like sitting on your chest?
Yeah, like boobs,
that's
which you don't
how
have.
I feel right now, so this feels like the right thing to do. I took a brand deal with a company that I loved, and I posted a...
Okay, I don't know if I buy that anybody has that strong of feelings about a beer company, as like a mega corporation beer company before.
Dylan Mulvaney's just secretly a frat guy.
I kind of like, it's funnier if that's true, if like Dylan Mulvaney just crushes beer cans on his head every night. Like,
shotguns them at frat parties.
I'm down for that, you know.
And it must have been a slow news week, because the way that this ad got blown up, you would have thought I was like on a billboard or on a TV commercial or something major. But no, it was just an Instagram video. And the wildest part is that they also sent me one can with my face on it. You might have seen it. And funny story, I had the can around my house, but then I realized, wait, I need to protect this can. So I hid it somewhere. And now I can't find it because I hid it so well. But when I do find it, I feel like it needs to go in a museum, preferably behind bulletproof glass. And you might be thinking, Dylan, why bring it up now? I'm bringing it up because what transpired from that video was more bullying and transphobia than I could have ever imagined. And I should have made this video months ago, but I didn't. And I was scared, and I was scared of more backlash, and I felt personally guilty for what transpired. So I patiently waited for things to get better.
No, you didn't. You said that it should be illegal to misgender you.
And I was waiting for the brand to reach out to me, but they never did. And for months now, I've been scared to leave my house. I have been ridiculed in public. I've been followed. And I have felt a loneliness that I wouldn't wish on anyone. And I'm not telling you this because I want your pity. I am telling you this because if this is my experience from a very privileged perspective, know that it is much, much worse for other trans people. For a company to hire a trans person and then not publicly stand by them is worse, in my opinion, than not hiring a trans person at all, because it gives customers permission to be as transphobic and hateful as they want. And the hate doesn't end with me. It has serious and grave consequences for the rest of our community. And you know, we're customers too. I know a lot of trans and queer people who love beer. And I have some lesbian friends who could drink some of those haters under the table. But to turn a blind eye and pretend everything is okay, it just isn't an option right now. And you might say, but Dylan, I don't want to get political. Babe, supporting trans people, it shouldn't be political. There should be nothing controversial or divisive about working with us. And I know it's possible because I've worked with some fantastic companies who care, but caring about the LGBTQ plus community requires a lot more than just a donation somewhere during Pride Month. And all this to say, bottom line is that if you follow me, if I've made you smile, if you care about me, I need you to care about every trans person. And I need you to support us, and I need you to stand by us. And hey, it's still Pride Month, so
it's almost over.
I'm gonna celebrate being alive, and I'm gonna celebrate the trans people in my life and the ones I haven't met yet. And I'm going to celebrate the fact that no matter how many thousands of horrible messages, or news anchors misgendering me, or companies going silent, that I can look in the mirror and see the woman that I am and that I love being. And I know you were probably here for the tea of it all, But I would love for something productive to come from this. So there is a link in my bio to the Trans Law Center, who is doing some wonderful work if you have the means to donate. And to the good people out there, I love ya. I really do. And cheers, but only if you're of legal drinking age. Okay, ooh. I love you.
I at least gave the disclaimer at the end.
There was a lot. That was
long.
Well, that was a very well crafted statement, though. You see everything that was covered in there. He covered the underage drinking stuff that came with it. Like, it was almost like a statement from a politician, but written for an actor.
I just find it funny that Dylan Mulvaney expected Bud Light to, like, I don't know, hire a therapist for him after getting backlash, when this is a soulless megacorporation that only hired you because you're trendy and your identity is trendy. And it's not because you have a following. Like, Dylan Mulvaney would have never had a following had he not capitalized on being trans. So, like, I don't know, like, to pretend that this is just like hiring any other influencer is insane. Even their marketing executive admitted that they did it to spite this customer base that they believe is like politically incorrect frat guys.
Yeah.
Robbie Starbuck had a great tweet on this. If I could read from Robbie Starbuck. Dylan Mulvaney made this video because the left realizes that Bud Light is a dying brand, so now they'll pretend to boycott Bud Light too in order to claim that the continued drop in sales is due to them, not how unpopular their trans pride push is. I really think there's something to that. She said it. He said it a couple times in that statement. Bud Light didn't reach out to me. They let me down, type of stuff. Basically, to me, it's a way to co-opt what's happening from people who aren't happy.
Mm. I mean, I don't know what you expect. It's not the corporation's job to hold your hand. You've gotten famous on a very controversial issue. You can debate all day whether it should be controversial or not. Everybody you talk to is going to have a different opinion on whether it should be controversial or not. But the fact of the matter is that it is controversial. And with that, with the money you're going to make by being a controversial figure, you are also going to have to accept the negatives that come with that. That's not the greatest thing. That doesn't say the greatest thing about our society, but it's the truth. And what I've found is that a lot of people in these situations, they don't learn to accept the world as it is. They then just try to change the world and make it what they think it should be. And that's not always plausible.
Thank you.
It's party time.
If I could add to that, Sarah Higdon has come through here. You know Sarah Higdon?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And it is possible for a trans person like Dylan to be in that position and say, look, y'all, they gave me some beer. I don't hate you no matter what your politics are. If you misgender me or not, I have no beef with you. Sorry I pissed you off. You know, it's possible for somebody to say something like that. Right. And it's almost like we can't even acknowledge that. I brought up Sarah Higdon because that, to me, that's the vibe I got from her. And for me, the misgendering stuff, for me, it's, do I respect you or not?
Yeah.
So somebody like Sarah Higdon, whatever she wants to be called, I'm calling her because she respects me. I respect her. And you saw that they talked, Dylan talked about the bullying. They're going down the stochastic terrorism route, kind of blaming Bud Light for causing this on me type of stuff. So it's a lot. There was a lot to unpack in that.
What else?
I gotta say, I disagree with your polemic on whether you're gonna misgender somebody. I don't even agree with the use of that word because I think like misgendering is an abusive language. But I'm not going to participate in someone's lie, whether I like them or not. If it's like a matter of censorship, that's different. But most of the comments here were negative, thankfully. People have not, gone totally insane. One person said, how can you be honest with everyone if you can't be honest with yourself? Another one said, I'm a lesbian and I don't understand why this gay man thinks he's a woman. Another one said, dude, of course you love beer. You're a man playing dress up. It's all good. Another one said, you act like women are these ditzy people who run around like little girls all the time when you in no way embody a woman or anything for what they are. There's so much more to being a woman than dressing up in designer clothes and doing your makeup and going out on the town. And biological women understand that and know because it's the truth. If that's all you want to do, then don't call yourself a girl or a woman. And also, Dylan Mulvaney was doing the same thing that Bud Light was doing, which is laying low until the controversy blows over. But the comeback video was literally, it should be illegal to misgender me if you're a journalist who's using my, like, other than my preferred pronouns.
Anybody.
You should be censored. That in itself is antagonistic.
Oh yeah, she's talking about us, and that's the problem that I have with this. It's taking it from like, okay, I disagree with your opinion, and I think Sarah Higdon, I can't speak for her, but I think she wouldn't have a problem with your take, Mary. She'd be like, fine, you don't have to call me whatever I want to be called, and why can't we respect each other to that extent? Yeah.
All of the celebrities, as you can expect, were in the comments supporting this. Ellen DeGeneres said, we still have a long way to go, but things will get better, and they'll get better because of you.
It's never going to get better in their eyes because there's no money to be made off better.
Well, there's always work to be done, and there's always money to be made.
Yep.
Oh, better to them means censoring like us right now. That's what their better looks like.
But even then, they will never publicly talk about that.
No.
Honestly, because to them there is no better, because all of it you have to constantly be fighting. Otherwise, you no longer have a reason to exist if you're not there constantly discussing all of the ways in which you yourself or others who are part of your group are being oppressed by other people. It's like
you're oppressed by yourself if you have this pathological need to be celebrated by every individual, every corporation, and the government. These are people with a pathological need for affirmation because they don't have it from within themselves. And for that reason, I feel bad for them, because you have to be incredibly insecure to need that type of affirmation constantly from all sides.
Yeah. I don't need anybody to affirm me. You don't even know me. Yeah. So like they want affirmation just because of their
or silence
identity
or silence. You're not allowed to have an opinion that disagrees with them in any way, shape, or form.
And it's not just Pride Month. It's all year that you have to celebrate these people constantly. Even in this video, Dylan Mulvaney says it. Your money isn't even enough. You have to, in your conscience, change how you feel about me as an individual.
It's also like, to me, the biggest problem with all this, it's like, it's one thing to feel that way if you decide to keep quiet, but if you decide to put yourself in the public square, you don't get to decide to be both a public figure with all of the positives that entails and none of the negatives or drawbacks. That's just part of the world, man.
She wants all that paper.
People are going to have, people disagree with things we say all the time, and that's just the way things are. I read a couple of very rude comments about my appearance in the chat today, and guess what? That's the way of the world. They're allowed to have their opinion.
Absolutely.
and that's fine. Nor does that make me any form of oppressed or as if I'm being targeted, because that's true. They are allowed to have their opinion, and for whatever that means, you do not get to be both Dylan Mulvaney, who makes the money from Bud Light, and Dylan Mulvaney, who gets to hide from the public and stay under that self-affirmed lie that everything is perfect and everyone loves you exactly the way you are, because no one's going to love everyone just all the time, just the way they are.
Yeah. You also don't deserve to be affirmed for existing.
Yeah.
If you haven't done anything of value that I respect or admire.
Yeah,
that's kind of like why I say I'll honor you if I respect you. But let me say this for sure: Dylan Mulvaney, though, is got to be one of the most talented influencers ever of all time, right? I mean, I've watched. Obviously, we are not in the same page with our social and political, cultural views.
But as far as being good at what they're attempting to do,
he. Excellent at shorts, and just look at the range of emotions in that statement. Oh, here, let me tell you a funny story.
Almost breaking into tears and then laughing by the end.
Exactly.
Like, this is a performer through and through.
Because he's an actor.
I think Dylan Mulvaney deserves an Oscar for the performance. It's an unbelievable performance.
Yeah. So the thing I take offense to is the idea that you deserve a life free from criticism or free from any type of pushback on who you are. Like, that's not realistic. And I'm sick. Like, one of those things you used to always hear and you never hear it anymore. Life's not fair. Life's not fucking fair. Deal with it, dude. That's the world we live in. Like, in a lot of ways, that's gotten lost. That's like it's like something from a previous generation. It's like the concept of people not wanting to be victims, right? That's something from a previous generation as well. People that used to recoil at the idea that they would be seen as anything other than strong, empowered, and comfortable in their own skins no matter what happened to them. That's a thing of the past because there's too much power, too much money to be made, and too much social currency in being a victim. And there's something particularly embarrassing about wanting to be able to be both a millionaire public figure and a victim. Please. I don't know. There's that was long. I mean, that was a long video.
He even acknowledged the privilege part. Said the word privilege in there, the white privilege.
It's clearly a veiled threat against Bud Light, though.
Oh, yeah.
Like, make your statement now or else.
Yep.
Which just makes them terrorists.
Sure would be a shame if now the left boycotted you as well.
It would sure be a shame if BlackRock didn't like you all anymore, or Vanguard, whoever.
Yeah, it's just a threat. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.